Good evening. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Words of Albert Einstein. Welcome to BMC English News Live. Myself, Marina Francis, joining you with the news updates. Today's news in detail. Plan to include expat workers in pension fund. Expatriates working in the public and private sectors could be incorporated in the pension fund, it is learned. The Social Insurance Organization, SIO, said the government is considering the move. Bahrain's production of shrubs and seedlings has exceeded 100,000, says the Works, Municipalities Affairs and Urban Planning Ministry. It unveiled plans to set up more nurseries in different municipalities to boost output, which is used in landscaping work in gardens and parks, in addition to avenues and road junctions. Special needs institutions to open tomorrow. Rehabilitation and vocational centers and institutions will open tomorrow for the start of the new school year 2021-22. Labour and Social Development Minister Jamil Humaidan said all preparations had been made to accommodate 109 students with physical disabilities. Tough rules call for new shisha cafes. Tough regulations to grant commercial registrations CRs for new shisha cafes in Bahrain could be introduced if a parliamentary proposal is given the go-ahead. Works, Municipalities Affairs and Urban Planning Minister Essam Khalaf in 2018 overturned a 2006 ministerial order imposing restrictions on shisha cafe locations and timings. Treasures from ancient Bahrain. The highest concentration of mounds ever discovered in a single area of Bahrain is said to be further explored at Abu Saiba in the upcoming archaeological season. 11 Tylos-style stone mounds have already been uncovered at the Tylos necropolis, with more expected in the coming months, according to Dr. Pierre Lombard, head of the French Archaeological Mission in Bahrain. Out of 17,727 COVID-19 tests carried out yesterday in Bahrain, 88 new cases have been detected. Among 42 expatriate workers, 27 new cases are contacts of active cases and 19 travel-related. There were 88 recoveries from COVID-19. There are currently 2 COVID-19 cases in a critical condition and 7 cases receiving treatment. 937 are stable out of a total of 939 active cases. Team Bahrain earns more wins and gets closer to historic record. The Kingdom of Bahrain's representatives at the MMA World Cup in Prague had an incredible second day of competitions, earning 6 wins and moving the country closer to a historic record of 100 total medals in IMMAF competitions. The wins were led in junior competitions by Gimbat Magomedov at junior lightweight and Murad Ibragimov at junior flyweight. They are inching ever closer to earning big results and getting Team Bahrain on top of their respective divisions. Now we shall be back after a very short break. Welcome back. UAE announces second projects of the 50 package to be announced on Sunday. A second package of new projects and initiatives to boost the UAE's development over the next 50 years will be announced on Sunday. The first announced initiatives included visas for freelancers, highly skilled professionals, investors, entrepreneurs, top students, and graduates to sponsor themselves. The second package is expected to include strategic projects to boost the country's growth on the domestic and international front. The Projects of the 50 is a series of developmental and economic projects making the UAE's jubilee since its founding in 1971 and its vision for the next 50 years. UAE lifts ban on entry from certain countries for vaccinated residents. The United Arab Emirates said yesterday residents who had been fully vaccinated with a shot approved by the World Health Organization could return as of Sunday from a list of previously suspended countries. Dubai, one of the UAE's 7 emirates, is due to open the Expo 2020 World Fair on October 1st after a year-long delay due to the pandemic. The regional business and tourism hub is relying on the fair to give its economy a boost. Organizers had previously said they expect remaining UAE flight restrictions imposed to curb coronavirus infections to be lifted in time for Expo 2020. Approval must be sought from the UAE government to return and various PCR tests must be taken, the UAE's National Emergency Crisis and Disaster Management Authority said on Twitter. Saudi Arabia to launch its first women's football league. The Saudi Arabian Football Federation on Thursday announced that it will establish its first official women's football league as part of wide-ranging strategic plan for the sport titled Our Tactics for Tomorrow. SAFF's new league competition will be a separate entity to the Women's Football League established by Saudi's Sports for All Federation last November and will involve full-sized 11 A-side matches. Among the major points discussed by the SAFF in the new plans are the establishment of the first women's national team, accessibility through technology, and opening training centers in multiple cities to support girls and boys of varying ages. At least 1 dead and 10 missing in landslide near Mexico City. A section of mountain on the outskirts of Mexico City gave way Friday, plunging rocks the side of small homes onto a densely populated neighborhood and leaving at least 1 person dead and 10 others missing. Firefighters scaled a 3-story pile of rocks that appeared to be resting on houses in Tlalnepantla, which is part of Mexico's state. The state surrounds the capital on 3 sides. FDA may authorize COVID-19 vaccine for children. U.S. health regulators said children in clinical trials testing COVID-19 vaccines should be monitored for at least 2 months for side effects, suggesting that the agency is considering a quicker path to authorize the shot for emergency use than full approval. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration said yesterday it was looking to complete the data review as quickly as possible, likely in a manner of weeks rather than months. The FDA granted full approval last month for the use of Pfizer's vaccine in people over the age of 16 based on a 6-month follow-up from the trial. The shot was authorized in December for emergency use based on a shorter 2-month follow-up. Jorge Sampaio, former president of Portugal, dies at 81. Jorge Sampaio, a former 2-term president of Portugal and one of the most prominent political figures of his generation, has died. He was 81 years old. The current Portuguese president, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, announced Sampaio's death on Friday. He did not give a cause of death, though Sampaio had been in delicate health for several years and had been in hospital for the past 2 weeks. South Africa jabs 2,000 children in test of Chinese vaccine. South Africa on Friday started vaccinating some children and adolescents as part of the global phase 3 clinical trials of China's Sinovac Biotech COVID-19 vaccine for children aged between 6 months and 17 years. The global study will enroll 2,000 participants in South Africa and 12,000 others will be taking part in Kenya, the Philippines, Chile and Malaysia. Worldwide coronavirus caseload tops 224 million. The global coronavirus caseload has topped 224 million, while the deaths have surged to more than 4.63 million and vaccinations soared to over 5.64 billion, according to Worldometers. The US continues to be the worst hit country with the world's highest number of cases and deaths. In terms of infections, India follows in second place. With that statistics from the coronavirus updates, we come to the end of today's news updates. We shall be back every day at 7:30 p.m. with the daily news updates in English. Good night.